So, story time. And this is about my run-in with the entity known as Zozo. The one that has been known to, through Ouija board sessions, or what have you, prey upon people trying to interact with another person on the other side, or any entity whatsoever. And this fiend, or fiends, because it can be one or a different one, there's many. Pretty much what it does, it disguises itself as a familiar person or what have you, and earns the person's trust by posing as it. Okay? That being said, after when it gets comfortable, or the person gets comfortable and then it picks up on it, that's when it creeps its way in and then jumps on them. Kind of a, if I have to say, is a pretty, I don't know, pathetic way of doing it. Because, yeah, well, you gotta stoop that low to get somebody's body or whatnot. Why do you have to stoop so low by posing as somebody else's passed on family member, friend, pet, and then to turn around and take advantage of them like that? I mean, just saying, in my opinion, if an entity like that is how old? Quite old? Or entities that have done this? They're kind of old, don't you think? They're how old? Less than a long time? I mean, just saying. Don't you think it would be a bit more mature by now? I'm just saying. Because don't you think after doing the same thing over and over and over again, when you get a little bored of it, and then realize, wait a minute, this isn't going to do me any good. I'm gaining nothing from this, other than watching somebody suffer, which is sadistic. But I'm rambling. So, many moons ago, not really, but a few years back, I never used the Ouija board before, and I was curious to say, I wonder how this works, so I'm going to give it a shot. So I just was very basic about it. I printed off one off a computer, and then I just found a very flat surface, and I just put the printed out picture of it there. Then I MacGyvered like a little thing or whatever, so that way I can move. I can't remember what the heck that thing's called, but MacGyvered it. It's like some plastic and whatnot. I couldn't make like the magnifying glass thing, so I had to like eyeball it. Then I was reading on, okay, so how do I do this without having anything bad happen to me and whatnot? So I took all the information with that. I had another piece of selenite, not this big, but a little bit smaller, and it had a bit of a sharp end to it. I kept that close by, just in case if I needed it. And then on the edges of the, like the picture of the board thing, I put 4 white candles, one on each corner of the rectangle. So on the top left, top right, bottom right. So it was like a square. And pretty much I made them, each one pretty much have the idea of like, look, whatever comes out or whatever tries to communicate cannot get past the board. Meaning that it can't just pop out and go beyond the point. But since my hand's in there, it's in the point, so we're going to be, yeah. This is the kind of precautions sometimes you have to take. When you're going into something, you have no idea what's going to happen. Protect yourself first, always. No matter how crazy or drawn out it is, you come first. I don't give a crap who else is there. You first. An entity comes through and you're not protected, whose fault is it? Not mine. It's yours. But also, I did do this alone, so I brisk myself, because whenever you do Ouija, always ensure there's at least 4 people. That way, you have one person moving the piece, the other 3 are there, just in case something hits the fan. Preferably, there is one who has a lot more strength. There's at least one, just one. But best if there's 2 of those. 2 people that are very knowledgeable and understanding of the occult to some extent. The more they know, the better, because they can diffuse it. And then the one person who can be you. No. But it's good to have as a practical amount of people as possible, so that way, in case something happens, you're prepared. You're not caught off guard, and you can take action when it has to be done. Because the last thing that you want to have happen is like how there are some people that have used this board and tragedy is struck. The only person that's responsible is you. If you take the proper precautions, you have nothing to worry about. But you have to be strong-willed and keep yourself in check. Now getting back to the story. So, never using one of these before, just got on the stage and I was just thinking, I'm probably just going to take a guess and then just start asking questions and say, oh, maybe, I'll talk to my great-grandfather. Let's see if I can get a hold of him. So, I pretty much started with calling his name out and then saying, is it alright if I speak with you? Moved to yes, okay. But is this my great-grandfather, though? Yes. Okay. Then I just started answering questions, and then it just kept doing its thing. And then after the second or third question, that's when my intuitive side picked up like, something's fishy. I asked him, so, how's Grandma doing? Z H O Z, and then I felt something just starting to, it kind of felt like a spider, like, it's kind of like that, start going up my hand. And I mean, I have both hands on the, I can't remember what that's called, but I had both hands on it. I felt that sensation, and while still holding on to it, I just went back, and I pretty much put my hands back on it. Then I asked the question again, how's Grandma? Moved over to Z, and then that sensation came back, and I slapped it again. I asked again, how is Grandma? F, U, sensation. And it pretty much got to the point where I was getting so annoyed with it because I'm trying to be mindful to not only my great-grandfather, but also to my great-grandmother, because I love them both when they were still here. And I'm just thinking, dude, I'm trying to figure out and communicate with these ancestors of mine. Stop trying to hold my hand. Quit it. And it just wouldn't stop. I got so frustrated. That selenite piece, which was probably only about that big, but it had a very sharp point to the top. So, probably took my hands off that thing, and I just said, okay, let's keep it simple. How is your wife, Doris, right now? Put my hand on the placard thing. Moved over to S H E I S Z, and then it felt like a big rush went on my hand, and I just grabbed the selenite, going into a state of mind like, I'm sick of this shit. Got it, grabbed the selenite, and just went pretty much impaling it through the carpet where I was at. Yeah. Imagine something or someone grabbing your hand, and then you come out of nowhere and just stab right at the top of it and pierced right through into the carpet. And because since I'm very intuitive, I kind of heard a loud shriek. And I mean, I wasn't remorseful. And I'm just hearing hysteria going off. And I'm just not impressed and thinking, dude, who are you? Why are you trying to hold my hand? And why are you being rude? I didn't end up, who are you? And then he told me it was Zozo. Like, okay, why are you trying to molest me? Why? I was just trying to, no, it don't matter. There's no good reason for it. And also, why are you trying to pose as one of my family members? Why? It's not cute. It's pitiful. And now you tell me why I should let you go and you have the opportunity to do this to someone else. Well, I'm not going to do it. No, you're not fooling me, kid. Tell you what. If I let you go, you have to promise me one thing. Anything, just please let me go. Shut up. Yeah, I was feisty at it. If you're going to be let go, promise me this. If I ever speak of your name at all and command you to come, you come to me, right? You understand? You agree to it. I said, okay. Whenever I say your name, remember, if you don't come, it's not going to be good for you. So just be a good little mistake and just do what you're told. Then I released them. And before anybody says, well, you can't do that, that's a demonic entity. Well, watch my alchemic mindset series. Because if you know me, I don't give a crap who it is, or what it is, what kind of entity it is, God, demonic, angelic, fae, it does not matter. If I'm trying to do something, trying to learn something, and understand something for my benefit, and if I have another person or entity on the astral side being an inconsiderable twathead, I'm going to whack it. Because that's rude. You don't just come in and then pose as someone, mislead, and then try to possess them. Wow. Let's not do that, because that's not cute. It's kind of pitiful. But until then, I mean, I've never really had the need to command him to be like, come here, little thing. But then again, at the core of it, very core of it, if you have enough self-strength for yourself, nothing can break you. And when something tries to scare you, laugh at it. Because when you laugh at something, you're telling it, you're not intimidating. And until then, I wasn't really impressed with it. In fact, I was rather annoyed by it. The problem that people need to understand when interacting with an entity like this, you have to have immense ground within yourself. If you don't have that, the entity is going to pick it up and it's going to grab you. And it's going to get you. Weak-willed are easily taken. Strong-willed are the ones who taking it and then whacking them one. And that's what you have to do. I don't care what kind of hierarchy it's at, what its status is, because all that a title and a status is just something that is in front of its name. That's it. It doesn't make it any bigger or smaller. It's still an entity. And it has boundaries. You have boundaries. A title is just an addition. If someone's stupid, they're stupid. That's it. Doesn't matter after that. You can have someone have a very good position, but if they're trying to be in the next Jackass movie, they a jackass. That's it. If somebody is cruel and just inhumane, it doesn't matter what their title is. They could pretty much be like the world peacekeeper, yet they're killing people. They're still a murderer. You see how I'm going with that? No entity, regardless of who it is, deserves to interfere with your expansion. And a real entity that is mature enough to understand this won't ever put you in a position where it's affecting you in a negative way. A real entity that understands that the growth has to happen. Not the idea of like, oh, I'm going to mess with this one and then just ruin his life. Really, I don't know about you, but I think that would get kind of a little old after a while. Just doing the same repeated thing over and over again, causing a lot of innocent people who are curious about something to lose their lives or get very hurt or ill, or have their family around them suffer. For what gain? That's not gain. You're putting people through turmoil for no just reason. Is that fun? To me, that's not fun. That's pitiful and disgusting. Why would you want to do that to someone? It's true. Because I'm going towards it as I would if it was another person. And that's how you need to be with astral relations. You treat it as if it's another person. And you're interacting with it. That's it. If someone comes kicking down your front door and they make a hot mess in your house, if it's a person, obviously you're going to call law enforcement, or you're going to grab them by the neck and throw them out the front door, or tell them to piss it. Same thing with any entity that comes in, or tries to mess with you or harm you. You table flip on it. Even though you can't see it, you can sense it and just be like, oh, out it goes. But you have to be firm and not impressed. You have to. Otherwise, it's not going to do anything. Like, you have to turn into a sass monster. That is why most of the time I prefer to call things like construct Lilith a fiend. Because that version, or that false being that's called Lilith, is malefic and only wants to cause havoc. That's the point of a construct. It's a man-made creation that is made to intimidate others and fearful of the real being. Also, some people do say that maybe it's also Pazuzu as Zozo. I disagree. And I've even also run into a construct, Pazuzu. And I knew it was a construct because I approached it and I was being very nice and civil to her. And it started acting like a child throwing a tantrum, like, oh, no, this isn't him. And that'll be another story. But, point of the story, and the point of this all. Something comes in, makes a big hissy fit in your space, and you are just minding your business. Why aren't you going to table flip on it? If you're trying to learn something and you're trying to practice something, just so that way you have an experience and learn about it and understand it. If it wants to try and hold your hand, don't let it have it. Don't let anything have the right to come in and be like, oh, I'm going to mess with you. I'll stab you in the eye with this. You have to be feisty and not let it push you around. Because the minute you start letting things push you around, everything on that side knows this is a weak one. I'm just saying for how it is. If you're not strong, you shouldn't be in the occult field. Because you'll be just a walking target. Unless you have the strong will and understand that, hey, this is my boundary. You step on it, you're going to get whacked on. Oh, didn't listen? You have to be assertive. And I'm saying this because I've seen it happen to other people. And it's just automatic for me now. And I'm saying this because there are so many people that get into this field. They don't know what they're doing, they don't know what they're up against, and they don't have that understanding of boundary. Not to just them, not just to the entity, but for themselves. If they don't consider their own boundary, they're in a bunch of endless negative things happening to them. And I don't want that to happen to anybody, because it's just unnecessary stress. You shouldn't have to suffer intensely because of something else while all you're trying to do is learn something. That's not the point. But anywho, that was my little run-in with Zozo. And it's not like the big, like, ooh, I got possessed and I started laughing like Krusty the Clown from The Simpsons. Give me a break. Because really, if you're going to possess someone, why don't you try, doing something that's a little bit more amazing or noticeable, rather than laughing like a clown. Not really that impressive. But anyhow, so that was my Zozo encounter. And my next video, I'll talk about the run-in I had with a construct Pazuzu. And that one is kind of funny, because I use the alchemic mindset in that. But anywho, I'll talk to you guys later regarding that.